it. Like I was at home. Okay, that was the dual. And then there's a mirror. Okay, this one can like literally feel the pressure.
Is this chair more comfortable for you or the other one? Or
This one.
okay, cool. All right.
Oh yeah, I think this is the last sticky note of my homework I was supposed to do.
Did you rewrite your notes? Or
Oh yeah, I did, cause I was like, when you added the dual and mirror. Oh yeah, and the continuous one. I have fit that one in the middle.
okay, I like it.
Everything up.
It looks really good. That's why I'm like, oh, nice.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's clover. And yeah, that's clover counting, adding up the beats. These are references. Yeah, these are references and notes. And this is. Oh, okay. These all have the same date. Okay, so this was the first one.
Awesome. It's a lot of homework. Alrighty, let's see. Travel note recognition, base note recognition, musical math, and clover counting. Musical math, clover counting. I gave you an extra one, counting beats.
I think so. One had like the dot, one had without the dot, and then one had the rest.
Okay. Right. Okay. I'll look through all.
My phone is in grace. Both of my phones are in grayscale, so I'm not like, because sometimes I get like impulsive when I see something and I want to buy it. So I put my phone in black and white. It won't trigger me.
Is that a psychological thing, really?
Yes.
I'm not have to do that. Though I've been on just a financial plans in general, so.
Yeah.
Oh, can I borrow the binder really quick so I have something to grade this on? And I made you do, left and right separate, but then also together. Just everything we've covered, mirrored, dual, and extended.
Oh, that's called extended.
Well, no, extended is just
continuous one.
Yeah, extend. That's not like necessarily a professional term. I just call it that. Don't think any way about it. Go ahead. Right. If you're ending it, just end with the pinky.
Oh yeah.
And come back. Thank you. Okay. Mirrored hands. Awesome. Okay. And then dual hands. Wow. Okay. Awesome. Okay, you got it all down. And then chromatic. Have you worked on that one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, Oh.
Perfect. All right, marvelous. Okay, so you got everything down. These are things like, and it's probably gonna like seem like it's a lot of homework, but I told you this, right? The best homework, and the most important homework will always be the one that you do yourself, not what you do here, right? You're gonna learn everything here, but what you practice. The chromatic scale, you can never forget. C major, you can never forget. Going up, also C major is not necessarily you're never gonna forget. That same form you're gonna use it on a bunch of different scales. Mm-hmm. So it's just the form you can't forget. Can't forget the technique. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mm-hmm, exactly. So I'm always gonna give you that homework, right? And then I'm gonna do it with other scales, right? So, but it's about never forgetting the basics, right? Let me go over like the homework really quick. I put check marks on all of your like practice versions. I mean, bass, left, low, everything's right there. A, C, E, G, A, G, C, E, A, E, C, G. You have to bear with me. If you want to practice, you can, but I'll look through this myself. It's.
You can read it while the music.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Like a theme song or something?
Yeah, it's not a theme song. It's a very popular song. I really don't know the lyrics to, but I know the beat.
What song is it?
I don't know.
Oh, you just heard it once?
No, yeah, like I've heard it growing up, like on the radio. I think it's like old school type of song. I think my mom would know.
You should ask her.
Yeah.
Maybe we can find the music. And if we don't find the music, maybe we can make it. So,
yeah,
just by listening. Yeah, okay. Awesome. Any music that you like, you can find it and tell me about it. We can see if we can do something about it. I was learning a new song myself. I'll show you later.
F-C-A-E-A-E-F-C. The piano to this song called Sweet Victory by Triple.
What is?
He's like a gospel rapper.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. You can find me the music. If that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
G, G, T, B, E, F, G, B, E, D, E, F. Okay. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, F, E, G, C, A, B, E. Okay. E, C, D, G, F, D, F, A, B.
And the violin in that song is beautiful.
E, C, G, D, F, F. Okay. this homework with you at the same time just because I'm a little confused on things, but I like understand what you're saying, but let's see if we can land on the same page. This is correct, right? Yes, this is 4 beats. You know what? I guess it is correct. Let's see. I think what I'm gonna have you do now, because you said the correct thing mathematically, like number-wise. I always want to clarify this. This is technically all correct. I'm gonna, like, I see where you're going with this, because I see that you're following these numbers, right? But this is technically not 2.5. It's 2 and like in relative to this note, it's a quarter of that. Does that make sense?
So it's like
It's still like
3?
Huh?
Wait, no, that's not 3.
No. So it's like let me get on the same page, right? This is worth 4, this is 2, this is 2, and then 1, 1, 1, 1, and then at that point, yes. Okay, this is half, second of that, half, 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 okay. What you have here, right, this is one that is worth 2, right? So if we bring this down here, it is worth these many, right? But this note is what? This, right? So that makes it a quarter of this, not necessarily half. This is half relative to this, but relative to this one block. This is half relative to this one block, but relative to 2, this is a quarter. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Because it takes 4 of these to make the 2.
Right, exactly. But I understand, like, if I'm correct, that's what she meant, like, that this is worth this, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. So, that's fine, right? I understand what you're trying to say, but I think moving forward, what we're going to do is, let's write this in decimals. Does that make sense?
Okay,
Yeah?
0.5.
Mm-hmm. So, this would be what?
2.5. Or 2.5.
If this is, what is a quarter of 100?
2.25.
Right? I do want you to say, what we're going to do is also have you label the types of notes these are. Like, this is whole. You see how it says whole? This is half, right? So you'll put the number, right? Or if you don't want to do decimals, you can do, again, 2 and 1/4. Right? It's always relevant to the bigger one. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, if I'm confusing you, let me know and I'll say it again. So, but don't worry about this. Like, don't even, like, where I still have to print out, like, the homework and see what we got to do, right? But, same thing with here, right? This, yes, you did get right. This is, well, actually, no, you did not. This is 6, right, together. But these 2 make 1, right? I know, perdón. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 7. I'm sorry. It's me. I did that with my brain. Okay, don't worry about it. You got that right. Okay. So this is 1. You got that correct. I did that by accident. I meant to mark it wrong here, but then this is right anyway. Yes, this is technically half. But the reason I don't like half here, right? And many people wouldn't like it because when we see that fraction, we think half note.
No.
So when you write numbers wise, always write it in relative to the biggest one. You know? So, but anyway, that's fine. It's not that big a deal. Like, it's like, but it's something to keep in mind just because it can get confusing at one point, and I also don't want you to get confused like later as I keep on making practices, right? So let's look at this one. Alrighty. This is 7 beats. This is correct. Yes. This is 1, 2, this is also 3 beats. This is 3, right? This is 3 beats plus 1 is 4, and then you have half of that, so 4 and a half. I understand that. Okay. This is 2.1, right, or 2.5. I'm in my own head. Let's see. This is actually 2. Yes. So this is one beat, and then the dot represents half of that one beat, right? Half and half makes what?
1.
And plus 1 is 2. So this is wrong, but that's okay. That's fine, right? So then this is how much? This is 3. Right, because you have 2 plus the half, which is 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. And then this equals 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. This is correct. Right? This is 1, correct. This is 4 and technically a half, right? You see, this is the best example to say it. The reason I don't like the half is because when I read just 4 and a half, if I'm not seeing this, I'm thinking, okay, it's 4 beats and like the half note. Does that make sense? It can get a little confusing, but I know this is correct.
Yeah.
So this is fine. Don't worry, we'll talk about that.
Snap.
I was like, huh? Don't worry about it. If anything, we'll do it right now.
Yeah.
3 plus 1, that's 4, correct?
1 plus 1.5 is 2.5.
No.
That's not
I don't know, though. Wait, no, wait 1 second. Yes, 2.5. You are correct. Yes, correct. Apologies. Alright, let's see. Oh, I have not read this in a while, but that's fine. Like rests. But I know this is, okay, 2.5 plus a half.
Yeah, that's worth a half, and then the one with 2, well, I don't see it there, but the one that's like double this or has the 2 little, that's worth like
1.
Wait, like not 2 of these separately, but like it has like an extra little this thing like above it.
That's like really small.
Yeah, this. It looks like that.
What about it?
That's worth like 1/4 beats.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. We'll get to that when we get to that. Okay. This is incorrect. This is worth 2. And then half of 2 is what?
1.
2 plus 1 is?
3.
Sorry, you're right. Sorry. I'm in my own world too. Goodness, I'm so sorry. See, it's been a while since I read breasts. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
When I realized, like, when I started on Duolingo, I remember seeing this and I was like, oh, when I did the rest, I was like, oh, that's what that was. And there was no sound there, and I was like, okay, now I know.
Okay, that's good.
It was only showing that rest though. The other ones I didn't see yet.
Right, it's probably going on simple beats, and that's fine. You know, that's what we're gonna practice really. So okay, this is worth 4. This is worth 1. 4 plus 1 is 5, correct? Right? This is 3, and then this is 3 equals 6, correct? All right, this is 3 plus 4 is 7, is correct. 4 plus that half, yes, is correct. 2 plus 3 is 5, correct? 1. Okay, this is 2.5, correct? And 1, correct? Yes. And then 3 plus 3.5. Oh no, sorry, 2.5. That makes it 3. I'm sorry. This is correct. Correct. Okay, looks good. This was. You just got 1 off. That's fine. Looking good. I'm gonna put 100 on this one just because I was indeed tripping. So
it happens.
Yes. Alrighty. I'm not gonna even make the math, but I mean it's just -1. So. Alright. Looking good. All this is good. I'm just going with the most difficult one, right? Alrighty. Let's see. So correct. You're trying to make 3. That's correct. I like that you circled it. That's good. Okay. Trying to make 4. No. Well, yes, I'm sorry. That's correct. That's correct. You're trying to make 3. This is correct. Okay, you're trying to make 4. Good. Interesting. Okay. So just trying to make 3. Very good. That's hard. That's hard. So
when it did get to that one, I was like, I think
yeah.
I erased. I think on that side I erased, and I was like, wait. When it got to the rest, I was like,
No, you're good. Okay. Let's see. That makes 3 plus 2, like 2/8 notes. Makes 2/8 notes plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Okay, good. Very good. Let's see. This is 3 plus 1, 4. 2 plus 1, 3. Yep, 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay, 2 plus 1 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. Let's see. We have already 2 here. That's correct. Looking good. Awesome. And then this is already 3. Very good. This is very hard. So you did really good on this one. That's definitely something to be proud of, because I probably shouldn't have given you anything this level of complicated, but you did it. So, you did it. You did it. This is really good practice to have, and you really did it well. Okay, awesome. All right, and you did all of that. Okay, bear with me. Let's see. Okay, your notes look amazing. I love them. Okay, so you got all of this done. Okay, what I was looking through before you came, I asked, like, I'm not gonna finish the class like super on time. If that's okay with you. Like, I'm not sure if you're pressed for time. But just because I'm having a hard time finding this book. Is it Triply Sweet Victory?
yeah, that one. It's like a piano in the beginning.
Okay. Listen to that while I look for something. Because I want you to see the chords and semitones.
Actually, it's not a piano. I think it's a violin, but like I'm pretty sure I can play the notes on the piano. Yeah.
Let's see what we can.
I think it's like staccato on the violin. I don't know if that makes sense.
It's fine.
That's what
I'll tell you what it is.
okay.
Plucking.
That's what they have. What? Just that little.
a beautiful piano.
Oh, like that. Yeah.
Okay. But let us try to get back into this, right? And if anything, I will see if maybe they got that music written out. And if not, maybe later I can teach you how to transcribe, and that's much later. But okay. I was just going through some of my notes from beginner music theory and reminding myself of how I used to count music and how we should count music, right? So, let's see. I want to give you something. This is all the music I've played. I want to give you something simple, right? And I want to introduce you to what it means to count music, right? If you ever choose to like take like music theory classes or sight singing or whatever, like at the college or anywhere else, this is the way they will count music. It's pretty generic. So I'm trying to find something simple. This is 4/4. Okay. Well, I think this is good enough. This is a nice Christmas song. I like this, right? So I find a pencil, right? So let me make sure I focus on what I want to show you today and not make it messy. Semitones, chords. When I say practical counting, anytime I say practical, I just mean it's what you do when we're practicing, when you're actually playing. Right? Anything theory just means everything written down for the most part. Right? So when we read music, right, we always, there are ways we count it, right? For the most part, anytime you approach a new piece of music, right, you will always count the beats before you start playing, right? You have to understand before you even count, though, right? Because I can keep on counting to the number 10, right? But then where do I end, right? No. I mean, you can count to the number 10, but that's if it says 410, maybe, right? But this says 4/4, right? So, I did tell you I was going to explain what 4/4 means. This is something worth writing down. Do you have another sheet of paper? Okay. I'm going to start writing this down, right? So take out another sheet of paper, and we're going to talk about this.
I thought I brought it.
I think. You know what? For the first time, I might use this book. It is pretty bad, but not bad for me.
What a binder. I mean, not the binder, the clip that you gave me, the clip there. So I think I left it on my bed.
I have a few sheets of paper for you. So, when can you pass me the book really quick? Did I give you the pencil or no? Did I?
The green or
The pencil. It was blue. Yeah, don't worry about it. Alright, so when I'm gonna give you like some basic time signatures, right? So there are terms you need to know, right? And I'm gonna draw them out for you. These are why like I tell you to write down that this is treble or that that's bass, right? There's anatomy to sheet music, right? So the first part of the anatomy is the paper. What is the paper called?
Body?
No, sheet music.
I was correlating it with
Nah, you're good. You're good.
anatomy.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Right. So anytime, right? Right, I want you to know, be knowledgeable of certain things, right? If it's like a certain instrument sheet music, right? That is called the sheet music. For composers, right? You ever seen those people go?
Yeah,
with the baton. Yeah. What they have in front of them is called a score, right? And what composers do, they compose. In other words, you also hear other people say they score music, right? They are writing music. So, but if it is individual, all right, I'm gonna write this down for you, right? If it's individual, you call it sheet music. Sheet music, right? If it is multiple instruments, it is called a what? Score. Right?
Is this a score or is this individual?
This is individual because this is piano music, right? So this is for an individual piano player, right? So, but we also have those 5 lines we've been working on, right? And you've been writing letters on, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that is called, do you know what it's called or no? It's fine if you don't.
No.
Okay, no. But what's on them is notes, but you're on the right path, right? It's not notes, but what's on them are, right? That is called the staff. Staff. I need you to write music on the staff. Read the music off the staff. Like the staffs, right?
Yes.
Those are staffs, right? There's probably other terms I don't know, like this one I don't know. I think they're just called brackets, right? But I'm not too familiar with that, right? I only studied basic music, but from the violin primarily. But this is staff. The notes that are on them, those are called what? I just said it. Notes, exactly. Right? And then, and whatnot. So these are notes, exactly. Right? And then there are numbers. Literally at the beginning of every music, you'll see what? You don't see the number there, it's the letter C, but it's fine. It's meant to represent numbers. You see? And they won't be continued, right? Because unless maybe they change the beat later in the music, right? But for the most part, like for example, like you see here, it started as 3/4. It seems like it might have changed that at one point. I don't know why I would write it again. Because it says 3/4 here. I don't know. Well, don't worry about it. But right, there will always be numbers, right, at the beginning of music, right? And that, my friend, is called a time signature. This is what?
Treble clef.
Right. But at the end of the day, treble or not, it is a clef. Exactly. Treble or not, it's a clef, right? At the beginning of, after the treble clef comes these numbers. And I haven't told you what they are, but this is called a time signature. Time signature, right? Beginning of every song, you will have a time signature. Not all time signatures will be the same. And that's what I want to show you here, right? This is what I'm going to tackle today, time signatures, right? And teaching you how to practically count, right? And you are reading music, how am I going to have this music, right? So, time signatures. I taught you the basics, right? I taught you what a whole note is, a half note is, a quarter note, an eighth note, and what's below eighth note if you don't? If you don't, that's fine.
16th.
Mm-hmm. There you go. There you go. 16th, right? And then there's even beyond that, 32nd, but that's
like
crazy. Like you better do it so quick. You understand me? So the one that you're mainly gonna work with is 4/4. I'm gonna talk about the other ones, but I do want you to be aware of 4/4 and understand what that means, right? So, and then there are other ones like 2/4, right? And then there are other ones like 3/8, 6/8, 9/8. There are so many. 9/12. It can be endless, quite frankly, right? But it's not hard to understand once you understand what those numbers mean, right? I will say, get out of your mind about anything about fractions. This has nothing to do with fraction, right? And it might look like it, but
yeah,
it's not, right? So, when you are dealing with 4/4 and 2/4, there are shortcut names for this because for the most part, a lot of music is in 4/4 and 2/4, right? 4/4, this means common time, right? And you'll see that. That's why you'll see it right here. This is what?
C. The C is common time.
There you go, right? And when you see a C with a slash in it, it is a cut time. Cut time, which means 2/4. It's just shortcuts, right? I guess musicians got a little lazy. So, but what does it mean? This means the following. This is why numbers are very important, right? This means there are, I want to give you something, all this music is like low-key, like giving me like a seizure looking at it. So, I just want to give you something simple with that. Sorry. My sheet music is a mess. Yes, pretty good. And then I made this book a horrible mess. But, what is it? Okay. When we look at sheet music, right? What 4/4 means is that there are 4 beats worth quarter notes. And that, let me go back to anatomy, right?
Just one beat.
Yes,
One beat.
that's correct. Here's something else you need to understand about music. There are things called measures, right? And measures are what separate the beginning of every beat. So how do I put this? Like I'm playing a song. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every one is the beginning of that new measure, right? You ever heard people dance and they count off and all that stuff, right? It's kind of like measures, right? That one is the beginning of that measure, right? So, and how can you tell what is a measure? They're literally sliced off, right? Right here. This is a measure. This whole thing is a measure. This is a measure. This is a measure. So when anybody asks you, how many measures are in that song? You're going to look, not at the lines. You're going to be like 1, 2, 3. No.
In the sections.
You're gonna look at them. Exactly.
Yeah.
So these are, what is that?
A measure.
A measure, right? So, I forgot what these lines are called, but this is what makes a measure, right? Notice this. This says what?
3.
This is the
Third measure.
third measure. And this says what?
5.
This is the
5th measure.
and this
7th measure.
and
9th.
and so forth, right? So anytime you see a little number, very small, and it's at the beginning of that measure, that's because it's trying to indicate to you. And a lot of the times when you're working with a composer, right, or somebody, maybe you're working in an orchestra, right, and the composer would be like, all right, everybody measure 29. A lot of the times, like, if you don't have that counted off, like, you're gonna be like, oh my god, hold up. Let me find 20. And I've messed up, I'm like, oh my god, I have to start over again. I'd be like, do you know what measure 29 is? Right? So having those numbers are helpful, right? So those little things will be like measure numbers, right? Not all music will have it, right? But you can always add it if you want. Yeah, it's up to you, right? So that's a little bit of anatomy, right? So, but it is essentially saying there are 4 quarter notes in every measure, right? Right? And was it that? Hold on 1 second. 3 beats. Yes. Let me just confirm something, right? Because I usually only read 4/4, but just in case I'm a little thrown off. Yes. 3 beats worth. Yes. So, a reminder. This is saying beats, and this is saying worth. In other words, length. Let me just write length. Length is the best way to put it. How many beats?
4 beats. 4 notes?
Quarter notes.
4 quarter notes. Or quarter notes.
Yes, exactly. how do I put this? Right here, these do not look like quarter notes. I understand that, right? They are 16th notes, right? But 4/16 notes makes what?
And beats.
Mm-hmm. Let me put it to you like this, right? I told you about beams, right? You remember beams? How 2/8 notes can come together and they'll be beamed?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So when we think about beaming, right? Let me draw this out for you, right? Beaming. What's good about beaming is that it's easy to the eye to understand that it makes a certain length or that it's certain fractions, right? So
it'd be 4/16. That'd be
2/16 notes.
Two beats.
No. When you see, and this is the good thing about music in terms of beaming, right? You'll see it. Right. What do you see what I'm doing here? I'm just dividing it. But they're all the same length. Understand that? So, here we have quarter. Here we have eighth. Did I say that right? Yeah, I know. Here we have 16th. Yes, exactly. But when everything is beamed, it'll indicate that it's worth one beat. So this is worth
1 beat.
This is worth
1 beat.
This is worth
1 beat.
And this is worth
1 beat.
And how many are there?
4.
And there are 4 essential beats that are worth
quarter.
Exactly. Now, that could be a little confusing because you're saying, "Oh my God, well, I see like 20 notes, right? But I was told that it was supposed to be 4 beats, and they're all worth quarter notes. These are worth quarter notes. Yes, they are. Sure, but they're divided.
Measure.
Within this measure. Exactly. Right? So, music is supposed to be complicated, right? You don't want, because let me show you how this song goes, right? This song goes like this. It's very beautiful, right? But, sorry. Did I forget? All right, hold up. 1 second. But if I was just to do 4 basic notes throughout the entire song, this would be the song. Right? But that would be a little bit boring, no?
Yeah.
So, but it is trying to give you the idea, right? If you do, bear with me, grab this moment, right? That there is strength, and you should always know 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it's right. This is nothing. 2, 3. Sorry, 4. 3, 4. 2, 3. It's a little hard to talk and do this at the same time, but the essential point is
this is like 1,
2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Exactly. Right? So do you understand that concept now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's good. Right? So, I want to make sure that we're following time, right? Even though I'm going to extend a little bit just because I do find like homework for you and all that stuff. Yeah. Do you mind if we go half an hour over?
Yeah,
that's
fine.
Okay. Are you sure, like with the bus and everything? I don't want like you to miss it. Okay, cool. Okay. So I'm gonna add another timer just because I feel like I was a little unprepared today. I'm so sorry about that again. Right? But
That's okay.
let's see. But these are a little more complicated, right? So same thing here. There are 2 beats, right? Is it beat? Yes. There are 2 main beats. They are worth quarter notes. What does that mean? Right? If I slice this down, that's what it means. right? There are 2 beats. Beats are groupings. Think about beats as grouping, right? Because technically all these little things are beats too, right? But think about beats as grouping. You're grouping music together, right? So, again,
in terms of measuring or counting, this would be like 1, 2, 3, 4.
no, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right?
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Exactly. Now, one could also right here, and I'm gonna do this just so you can kind of get the concepts right a little bit more. Right. That 3 4. How about 3 4? If I wanted to do 3 4, what would this look like? 1 2 3. 1 2 3. 1 2 3. 1 2 3. 1 2 3. 1, and so forth, right? So, and then we have much more complicated ones, which I'm not going to really go deep into, right? Just because these are called compound time. So, what was it that I wrote? 3 8 6 8 9 8. These are a little more complicated. I'm going to go over it once, but then I'm not going to touch it for a while because, what is it? I do want to make a point though. But the reason I'm not touching it is because these are considered duple time. And these are considered compound time. What do you notice with the main difference here?
The duple and compound?
Yeah, just to the eye. Maybe something sticks out to you.
4 and 8?
Yes, exactly. These are even, technically they're all even numbers, right? And I know this is odd, but, and I'm going to show you about practical counting, right? But the thing about compound is that you're counting in up to 3, right? For example, yes, here you're technically counting up to 3, but a quarter note at the end of the day will always have even division. But here, right? And let me find a song for you. The division, the maximum division will be this. Triplets. Have you heard of triplets or not? Okay. I was like, huh? And I was like, oh, that's a good joke. So the maximum you will see, right? Well, actually, you can even go technically up to here, but you'll never see. It's difficult. I'm not gonna give you information that I'm not completely too sure on. I used to know this for sure, but you will have a quarter note of 8th, and then you'll have 16th. This is a good song. That's interesting. Look at this. At the beginning of the song, we see 4 4, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What do you see here?
6.
Right. Look at this. Pay attention. This, I told you everything that's beam makes one beat, right?
Mm.
This is beam, so this is one beat. This is one beat too, right? It's technically, within the measure, it makes 4, right? But notice that, let me get on the piano really quick. Let me move in there. This is a tricky song because one hand is playing at a certain time and the other one is playing at a different one. I just think I remember this. I don't remember if I know.
Oh yeah, this is the left
Mm-hmm. How does it go? Start something like that, right? But the tricky part is this, because when I first played this music, I was very confused. I thought I had to play each note at the same time or something like that. No, but look at this. I start here. I'll show you what I'm doing, right? One hand is going in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whereas this one is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. I'm not even reading this, right? But you understand how one has like 6 beats and the other one has 4, right? That's what's complicated about compound time. Now, compound time is not going to make you do both at the same time, right? I'm actually technically in duple time. These are little edits that composers make, right? Where they make you do both. But compound time is a little more complicated. Not going to touch it, right? But I will say this, right? That was just a brief thing I wanted to show you, but I do want to show you what it means in terms of reading time. And then we'll actually get down to chords and then maybe like make you do a song. I'm trying to find a song. These are too stroke inducing. I think there was one. Yes. Look, I dodged your neck line. Okay, check this out. Right. So, this is hard. Okay, cool. This says 6/8, right? Mm-hmm. What does it mean? It means there are 6 main beats, and they are worth
8 notes.
8 notes. What do you see here? Tell me, how many notes do you count?
2.
How many notes? Individual notes.
Oh, 6.
And how much are they worth?
1. Wait, no.
Each one. Anytime? 8 notes, right? So I do want to make a point, right? I understand now you are seeing, anytime you see a beam and it has 1 line, it's an 8th note. If it has 2 lines, it's a 16th note. If it has 3 lines, it's the duplicate of that. You understand me? Mm. So if you see one whole thing grouped here, right? And you see it only has 1 line, what is it?
8 notes.
Exactly. How many 8th notes do we have?
2 notes.
How many individual ones?
6.
6. And what did it say here? There's going to be
6
that are worth
8
notes. Exactly. So that's what that means, right? That's very basic stuff. I know it's like I delved into it a lot, but I just want you to have a really deep understanding what that means. Anyway, so not going to go into it that much, but I do want to tackle. Okay, I told you about a little bit about counting. I told you about time signatures. I want to teach you about practical counting, right? So practical counting. Let's get this book. When you count music, right? Okay, you're gonna see numbers up here, but this is talking about fingers, which fingers to put on. Don't pay attention to them right now, okay? Mm-hmm. Right now, this doesn't have a time signature, but this is a baby book. It's not meant to teach time and all that stuff at this level of this page, right? But this is in 4/4, right? I just talked to you about beats, right? Yeah. 4/4, right? It means there are gonna be 4 beats. Each one of them is worth a
quarter note.
Exactly. And these are, what are these? What type of notes?
Quarter notes.
Exactly. So I taught you about 1, 2, 3, 4. This is, what number is this going to be? If I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the beginning of the song. 1. Exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is indicating that there's a measure. The starting. So this is what now? 1, 2, 3, okay. 4. Okay, and we keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Marvelous. And it keeps going, right? But in music, things are not as simple as just 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We have much more complicated things, right? Oh, this book sucks. All right, that's fine. I don't like this book. When we have music, we have much more complicated things other than just 1, 2, 3, 4, right? This is not bad. Dance with me, Wallace. All of this has 16ths. A little bit. This song is not slow, is what I'm getting. No, it's not. Okay, but it's fine. Right? When you look at music, So I taught you 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Guess what? The beginning of the song says what? 4, 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're only looking at 4, 4. I want to make this clear, right? I know a lot of papers are spread out, but all of it's in 4, 4. This song starts at 4, 4, right here, right? If I had 4 notes here, what number would I give each one of these? If this is the beginning of the measure.
1, 2, 3, 4.
But we don't have 1, 2, 3, 4 here. We have
1 and
what does it encompass?
3. Oh, it is for both 1 and 2.
Correct. So when we write these notes, when someone, like a composer or a teacher tells you, write the value of each one of these notes, like count it, you're going to say 1, and then this is what?
3.
3. Exactly. Right? So a lot of the times, well, let's keep on going on that division, and then right here, this encompasses what? How many notes?
1.
And how many does it encompass?
2, 3.
Exactly. 2. They're like in a parentheses, like it's part of it, right? I like to put the parentheses to kind of indicate it's part of it. You're not going to speak it out loud.
So basically, it's like it's held. It's like dun, dun.
Exactly, right? So do me a favor. Go. I'm gonna go like this. 1, 3, 1. I didn't even have to tell you. You just did it. I love that. Okay. Period. That's how you do that, right? So it's 1, 3, 1, and you close, right? Now, here, when this everything in music is a subdivision. It's division, it's multiplication, it's everything I told you, right? Now we subdivide even more, right? We're dividing even more. Each one of these is worth 1, right? And we know each one of these are worth 1. If it was divided into 2, it would be just half of each, right? And we're dividing into 4, right? So I don't really have that much music to like this music is a little complicated because it has ties. What we'll do is if I were to have this song, I just did this one, right? If I were to have this song, right, and I had the following, don't pay attention to this, right? Right? You understand that there are 4 beats here, right?
Yeah.
The beams represent
A
a beat.
Oh, a beat.
Right, when they're together. But yes, each one is an eighth note. That's not wrong, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. But when you count this out loud, you will not say 1, 2, 3, 4. You are going to say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. If that had a beam, what would you say on the last one?
4.
If this was like that, what would you say?
4 and
Correct. But it does not have that. So you will say
4.
Exactly. So if we were counting like this, what are we saying?
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Now I want you to do this, right? The tempo's gonna change a little bit when you get to this part.
Yeah,
I think you realize that. I think you realize that. So I'm gonna do this, and then I want you to try to understand the following. You're gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Okay.
And notice that the and better fit before I clap the next one. You understand me? So that's the trick, right? Okay. So I'm gonna do it. I want you to count this, this, and then this.
Okay.
Right?
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
There you go. You You see? That's how you count music. And when you understand that, it'll make it easier for you to play it like that, right? So one more time and then we continue, right?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Perfect. Right. Then there's even more divisions, right? And this is the maximum we're going to go at because I will not make you ever do a 30-second note, at least spoken, right? So, but, and let's pretend, I know this is all a little messy, right? So, and let's do this. Half notes. We know this is worth 1, parentheses 2, 3, 4. We know this is 1, parentheses 2, 1, parentheses 3. We know this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now I'm going to show you what you do when you count these. This is 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. What I want you to do right now is not do that. I want you to count this. I want you to look. I want you to go 1, 1, 3. I wrote that wrong. Anyway, 3. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I want you to do that for me right now.
Okay.
I want you to try and read. I know it's a little messy, but bear with me, okay? So let's try and do it, okay?
1, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3
and 4. I'm sorry. I'm just tripping you up. I'm sorry. I was like, what is she
I'm not
doing?
even gonna lie. I was saying 1, 2, 3, 4, and I was looking at.
Okay. That's what I was doing. I was like, is she not gonna say the and?
I skipped looking over, but I still was counting.
Okay. Sorry. I know this is so messy. Okay. I know this is messy. I'm sorry. I was like,
Okay.
but I was doing the same. That's why I was like, what? Okay. Let's do it one more time. All right.
Okay. 1, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. That's how you do the next one. It's a lot, but that's how you do it. I wanted you to start it so I can finish it, right?
Okay.
So, but that's how you do it. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a
4 and a.
There you go. 1 and a
2 and a.
3 and a
4 and a.
I know.
4 and a.
Okay. So you said 1 and a 1 and a
1 and a.
2 and a
3 and a.
4 and a
1 and a.
2 and a
3 and a.
4 and a
1 and a.
2 and a
3 and a.
4 and a. Okay. So, but that's how you do it, right? And that's how you count music, right? So if I was, I know this looks like a lot of notes and they're chords, but if I was reading this, I would say 1, 3, and in the meantime, you would say 1 E and a 2 E and a. Actually, no, you would say, this is in 4/4, so I don't even want to, I would say 1, 3, because no, these are quarter notes, so like, I don't want to confuse you, but I would say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I know this is the type of beaming that like confuses people, but this is for other purposes as to why they beam this way, right? But you would say 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a. I actually want to do that. I'm gonna count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a.
Okay. And then how about we do this? You say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm gonna say that, right?
Okay.
And try not to get thrown off by me. I'm gonna talk out loud and you're gonna be like, oh, I want to fall early. Don't do that, right? So I'm gonna count off 4 and then we're gonna start. I'm gonna say 1 and you're gonna say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and,
okay.
right?
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and,
right? I forgot a little bit, right? So, but let's start again. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1
and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. You know what's interesting enough, right? And I hope you notice it. We both say and at the same time, right? So if you look at this, right? Because I'm gonna make it a little more organized for you, right? What is it? When do this, I say 1 and, but when you are speaking your part, 1 E and when they both find each other. They both would technically be signed the same part. Yes? So, let's do it one more time. Right? It's kind of like, you know how I told you when you do the piano, your fingers are going to land on the same part sometimes?
The middle finger with the...
Right, exactly. Sometimes when you speak out loud, they'll land on the same part. So let's do this one more time, right? Let us count off again. I'm going to count off to 4. You're going to say 1 and. I'm going to, actually, no, you're going to do the 1 and 2 and I'm going to do the andas, right? So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Exactly. So we're falling in the same parts in some parts, right? I say e, a, or whatever, and you just don't, right? But we both say the same parts that we do, right? And the 1s and the 2s and the 3s and the 4s, right? So, but that is how you count music, right? What I'm going to give you as for homework is I'm going to give you like some sheet music, and I want you to like write down one enda, or whether it's like, so if I gave you, for example, something, just so you get adjusted to counting, because I need you to learn how to count before you can ever play music, right? So, if I were to give you something, for example, something like this, right? On the homework, what you would do is 1 parentheses 2, 3 parentheses 4. And then here, you would write 1 E and 2 E and so forth, right? And then here, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And this is a lot more complicated, but that's fine. Let me get this on the page. And, 1 second. Counting is pretty easy. I might give you something complicated to the eye, but when you realize, oh, I can count this, you realize how easy it is, right? Okay. And you're gonna be like, oh, it's all a matter of counting, right? A lot of people try to like learn. A lot of people try to learn music, like freeballing it, but if you don't know the basics, right, of counting, like I started learning the piano. This was like the second song I played, and the only reason I knew is because I knew how to count beats, right? So, and I want to give you, I'm not going to give you something super, super, super complicated at first, but eventually I will. You're going to be like, oh, how can you think something so complicated? It's not that complicated when you know what you're reading. So, this is actually technically a very easy song. It looks a little complicated, but it's very easy, right? I haven't played it yet, but a friend gave it to me. But it is, and this song is very easy. This actually might be one of the first songs I give you. This is a very easy song. Right.
This is this would be a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a.
I actually might just give you this song to write. I'll find out mine. Because this is what? What does this mean? And you're based on your notes. What does the C mean? Common time means
4 beats.
Exactly. And then this is what?
1 beat. 2, 3, 4.
And then this is also 1, 2, 3, 4. But this is 1
and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Right. And then this is a little tricky, right? Because this starts kind of with like half of it, right? But it's technically still 1. Just everything else here, this might be a little tricky. You might not have you do this one because this is kind of hard to verbally say out loud, because it kind of throws off a little bit of the music. But you know what's good about music is because when you score music on a digital device, they line up the notes. Notice how this is lined up here and this is lined up here. If this is 1, what do you think this will be? This is also 1. This is 1 right here.
Oh, that would be the and?
Exactly. This is and. Parentheses, 2. That is super complicated. But, and then this technically makes it and, plus the 3. But I don't want you to worry too much about that. That is like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this song and I'm going to block off certain sections that I don't want you to focus on. Not because you can't do them, but it's not worth giving your attention to that yet, right? But for the most part, you kind of do understand it, right? if this is all 4, right? This is like, we're in 4/4, right? This is, I know you can basically see it visually, right? Cut it in half. This is 1 and 2. This is 3 and 4, right? But this is 1, and remember all the music math I gave you, right? This is 1 beat plus. Exactly. So this will be, let's see. I want you to spend a lot of time with this. I want your brain to hurt. That's the only reason I'm doing this, and it hurts mine too, right? So, but this is why what I want you to do. I'll show you. I'll give you a really good assignment, right? This is the best way to put it, right? Is remember this will always be an 8th note. Kind of make the picture it as an 8th note here, right? And you know this makes 1, so this is worth 1, right? And the beginning of 2. This is just and. You see it? Do you see it? No. Okay. Don't.
Like I see it on the paper,
but you don't see it. That's okay. That's okay. Right? Sometimes it's hard. Let me know when you don't see it or when you don't feel it in you. Okay? When you don't feel it, let me know. Right? So the best way to really put it is this. Right? When you see something complicated like this, visually divide it. This looks like it's, if this is all worth 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, visually divide it and you're understanding, okay, well, this side is worth 2 and this side is worth also 2. Beats 3 and 4, right? Based on the homework that Sophia gave me, I remember, right, that this is equal 1 and an 8th note. 1 and an 8th note. Let me separate the 8th note. Let me put it next to this one. I know 2 8th notes make 1. So pretend that dot isn't there. This is just 1 and 2. Except that dot is there. That dot represents this. So this is 1. Technically, pretend and is there. And the beginning of 2. But because we remove this, the and of 2 is right there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or does it not? That's okay if it still does not. Yes? Yeah. Okay. That is hard. You might forget that. That's okay. Text me. That's fine. Right? But that is a way to approach counting. Right? This song is not complicated. I cannot play it right now because I forgot. But sorry, my dog.
Just like I want to learn music too.
Just excuse me really, really quick because she might just keep barking. Alright, so I hope that was a little decent. If it's very complicated, that's fine. It's meant to hurt your brain. Okay? Math and music is meant to hurt your brain. But if it's a lot, that's also worth telling me, right? I do want to introduce chords very quickly, and then I'll give you homework, and I'm not going to give you too much. I'm going to give you something to write down and repeat the same thing we did last time, right? Okay. But these are good notes to have. Keep them. Let's see. I want you to hold on to this. I'm going to find chord bases for you online. And I'm probably going to give you a lot of my notes that I used to have because this is good to have. I want you to write this down. Okay? This down. This is probably the best way to see it.
I think you gave me reference sheets. Yeah, references.
Okay.
Yeah, it has the rest. It has the notes and the rest.
Okay. Good. That's good. As long as you just keep refining your notes, because your notes are what you're always going to remember. References are good, but always write your own notes. These are my notes based on the references my teacher used to give me. And I'm going to give you beat subdivisions. I'm actually going to
What song? I don't know. I barely be on TikTok.
You know what? I deleted it too because I have a problem. So
I barely be online. Like
that's good.
the only time I go online is like to post something, and then maybe respond to what my mom and my friends send, because they send me a lot of like messages, and then I'm just like, this looks intimidating, so I either don't open the messages or I just look at a couple and I leave.
I get you. Let's see. This is not bad. So for chords, I'm gonna just try my best. I've never really had to explain chords, so I'm gonna try my best with it. Right? Like chords are just chords. I don't know. Bear with me. I'm gonna go on this side, right?
Okay.
So I taught you the chromatic scale, right?
Mhm.
These notes next to each other. Sorry. These are called semitones, right? Why do they mean semi? This is a semi movement, right? And this is, I think this is called a whole movement, right? This is almost there, right? They're right next to each other. This is semi, right? This is whole movement, right? And then at that point, whole and semi, right? Now this is two movements, right? But for chords, right? Have you ever heard? I'm gonna play a major scale or a minor scale. Yes, major and minor, right? There are more scales to that, and there are more chords than just major and minor. There's diminished, there's augmented, all that different type of stuff. But you do need to understand the basics to eventually add the augmented and diminished, right? So the basic way of understanding, right? At least orally. When I say orally, it means ear, auditorily, right? Chords is that major chords are happy, minor ones are sad, right? So we go here. This sounds happy, correct? And then I can play a minor one. That sounds sad, right? Exactly. So now the diminished ones sound even like more sad. They sound confusing at this point. Like, I'm confused. What? I don't know how I feel.
So basically, like the tone of it.
Yeah. So orally. But there are theory-wise ways to understand chords, right? And for the most part, right? So, right? What do you notice here that I changed? What did I change?
Using and not using the sharp notes.
That's correct, right? So that's not the most not the best way to explain how chords work in terms of using this or not. But when it comes down to like, because I'm playing a C major chord. C, when I touch the C major scale, we only use white keys, right?
Mm.
C is the most basic way to learn anything, right? So, but yes, I am going from just using all white keys to using a black key, right? But the main point, and bear with me if I can't explain this too well. If I don't explain this today, I will have a greater explanation next class. But at that, I will have it refined, even if I do explain it well today. What is very hard because I'm trying to think about how my teachers taught me. For chords, let's say on a sheet of paper. I'm not gonna have it right. To make a major chord, right? Any major chord, not just C, right? I want you to grab this. I want you to write the following. It's made of 3 notes, right?
Major chord.
Yes. Major or minor, regardless, a chord is made out of 3 notes. Right?
C-H-O-R-D.
Yes, correct. And I actually want you to write parentheses triad. T-R-I-A-D. Triad. What does tri mean? 3.
Exactly. So this means it'll be
3 notes.
correct. So I do want you to specify that triad means 3 notes, right? 3 notes, right? So when you're making a major chord, here is the way to do that, right? This, I said this is a semitone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now this is how many semitones? 1,
2,
1, 2,
3, 4.
4. Okay, so I want you to write that down. The first note will just be the note, right? There's no semitone there. That's just a note, right? The second one will be 4 semitones away. 4 semitones away. So I want you to write whatever, like write the letter C, right?
Okay. I was like, do I write the note or
right? I understand.
one?
I'm sorry. This is very confusing, right? And then I want you to write like maybe like a little V or something like that, and say that it is 4 semitones away. Write the letter E and then the V below it, below the next. Like write the letter E right next to it, and then write like a little V and say that there's 4 semitones away.
A little V right here?
V between both notes.
Oh, between.
Line down.
Oh, okay.
4 semitones.
4
Okay, and then notice this from here. E. How many semitones away is this?
1, 2, 3.
That's what you're gonna write. You're gonna write G. This is G.
E and G.
You're gonna write G. Just G. You're gonna do E. And you're gonna write that it is 1, 2,
3 semitones away.
3 semitones away.
Okay. 3 semitones.
Now, it can be a little hard to understand. Oh my god, every time I do a chord, am I gonna count 3? And no, you're not. Right? The homework I'm gonna give you, pass me that notepad really quick. I need to write down the homework I'm gonna give you. The notepad, the blue one.
Oh.
Right there. Pass me a pencil really quick. All I'm gonna do is this. Number pyramid, and chord letters. There are easy ways to remember chords. They don't have to be complicated, right? If I was on the letter D, if I wanted to make a D major chord, this is how it's gonna sound. I already know this by memory because I know what letters go by go, or numbers, letters, and sharps and flats, right? That sentence does not make sense before. I'm sorry, but given this formula, right? The first one is how many semitones away for the first note?
4 semitones.
Right. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. Did I say 4 semitones?
Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is that what I said?
For C and E.
2, 3, 4. Okay, do not follow the semitone explanation. I'm just trying to find a way to explain how chords work to you, but it is very difficult.
Like, it's kind of like how spaced out each note is from the next one you use.
A little bit. It's just that formula does not follow completely. Give me a moment. Let me find my notes. I'm trying to find a way that is logical to explain this because I don't really know how to explain chords. Bear with me. I'm going to show you chords in class because I need to find a way of telling you. I don't want to give you wrong information, right? But I will show you chord letters, right? Chord letters, this is just the homework I'm going to give you. Let me get a paper. I'm gonna show you the two only homeworks I'm gonna make you do. I'm not gonna make you do musical math again. I will in another class, but actually what I will do, I said I was gonna do this. I can do this out by accident, but I said I want to do this. What I want you to do is the following. Remember the pyramid I made you?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to work on that. So, I'm gonna put an example, and then I just want you, what I want you to do is like, you know how like for like spelling when you're younger they make you write like a sentence or the words like 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially what I want you to do.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. So, I want you to get used to looking at being and understanding. Right. So, let me get something good. And what we're gonna probably do moving forward, sheet music, empty. Start using sheet music, like just the paper. My printer isn't working, so I'm really sorry. But this is the assignment that I want you to do. Right? How do you swim? I'm gonna make you do the chord. I'm gonna do
Right there.
this is gonna be a long time. I have to take it a Walmart. Anyway. Okay. We'll do chord combinations. I want you to know visually, like verbally in your head, what letters go. C, E, G, D, F, A, E, G, E, G, B, F, A, C, G, G, B, D, right? I just know that off the top of my head, right? But that's because they skip letters, right? The main concept, right? The main concept for chords is that it's always skipping letters, right? C, D, E, F, G, right? C, E, F, E makes a chord. D, E, F, G, A.
Okay.
Right?
So when you do the sharps, well, yeah, you do the, yeah, it's sharps when you're going up, and then you just, but you don't say
Not
F sharp,
completely.
but you just say F.
You do say F sharp, but just bear with me, right?
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about the sharps or flats right now.
Okay.
Right? F A, E, G, E, F, A, C, G, B, D, A, C, E, B, D, F. I'm gonna tell my grandma that I will be thinking.
Okay.
So what I want you to do, right? This is your reference. I want you to write this 5 more times. And I want you, what I want you to do, I want you to experiment, because your piano's working, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What I want you to do is experiment. Because you were talking about the sharps and all that stuff. I told you not to worry about it. And I really mean it. Don't worry about it. Right? But I want you to do this because you're going to play C, E, G, and you're going to realize it sounds happy. You're going to play D, F, A, and you're going to understand it sounds sad. Right? Maybe it does sound a little happy to you, but this sounds happier. Does that sound happier?
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is I want you to write these down, but this is by choice. You don't have to do this, but you can. I want you to do this, be like, okay, C, E, G, D, F, A. Oh, that's a little sad. Let me, or maybe I should move my hand up here. It does sound happy, but that's an inversion. So don't worry about that, but I want you to realize what you should be working with. Keep your fingers there, just an E, G, B. That sounds sad. Okay, let me move my hand there. I just want you to experiment. I want you to have fun. Just play around, right? F, A, C. Oh, this sounds happy. Okay. Oh, this sounds happy too. Okay. This, no. This sounds happier. Just play around. Play around.
High.
Right. So what I want you to do is, what do we call this? Spelling. What do they used to call that when we were younger?
Writing lines?
I never had that. I think it was like spelling multiplication or something like that. chord spelling multiplication. Let's call that. Right? Chord spelling. I don't know. I feel like that is what they called it when I was younger. It's chord spelling multiplication. And then the other I want you to do is this, right? This was addition, and this is subtraction. So you're gonna add the value. Come into the light, because I just can barely see, right? You're gonna add the values, right? You're not gonna worry about, okay, well, this is a rest. Actually, maybe I should. Yes. Okay, you're only gonna add the values. Right? You're not gonna worry, okay, this is one beat plus a rest means it's 0 that's played. No. Just means this is 1 plus 1 equals 2. Exactly. Let me write this as an example so you remember this. Right? Only add value. Right? This means numbers. Right? Just numbers. Right? This is 4 plus 2, which is 2. Great. Here. Is there another rest one? I guess there's another rest one. Interesting. Okay. Same thing here. This is subtraction though. This is worth what? 2. This is worth 2. So this means 0. This is worth 2. This is worth 1. Which is 1. Exactly. Worth 1. 1. None. I like that. Okay. There you go. So very simple. I want you to do the same practice you've been doing physically. Physically on the piano, same practice. You're not going to divert from that, right? So let's see. You are going to do this homework, right? And then this spelling, chord spelling multiplication. Play around, have fun, right? Only. Have you looked at the videos I sent you that you should look at, or?
The girl?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want some of those.
Numbers. Okay. Only add value numbers. So this is really just your homework. This is it. Then physically, and I'm moving forward. What I'm gonna do, because I'm not gonna rewrite this time and time again, but this is always gonna be your physical, your practical homework.
Theory and practice.
Not theory, just practice. Practical. Will always be. And it's not always gonna be C major scale, but it will be major scale. Whatever scale I give you, eventually we'll work on the notes. Left and right. Middle. Right. And then we'll do. I don't think you needed to do the reading paper without reading paper. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So what I want you to do is separate singles, extended scale, separate, extended. Mirror hands up. In a way that's like easy to understand. Separate single octave. Separate extended. Octave. Dual. Single octave. mirrored single, and then mirrored extended. Haven't done that, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Just before you go, I do want you to see what I'm trying to say. So this will always be a part. I'm not going to be writing that again, but it'll always be it.
Okay.
Which we're always going to do. Before we go, I want to show you what that means. Oh, this is your notes, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this out because I will figure out a better explanation for chords. So,
Okay.
this is your notes, right? Keep this. This is very important to know, right? Right? And before you go, I want to show you what the practical homework means, just so you understand, right? Get them there in the middle. Separate single octaves means separate hands. Only do one single octave. Always up and down. Separate extended octaves. Separate hands, extended. You can keep on going if you want, or you can just do two. More of the story? Less than one. I mean, more than one. Right? Same thing with left. Single. Extended. And then dual single, meaning you're going to do both hands. You're only going to do one octave. Extended means more than one. That doesn't mess up something. I messed up somewhere, but you understand what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Extended, both hands. You haven't done that yet, but I want you to do it, right? Mirrored single, meaning extended means take your time with it, right? Take your time with it because you haven't done it yet, but that's fine. Right, octave. I will make that clear. It's octave. Remember what an octave is, right?
A certain letter scale.
Just means
C to C.
C to C, right? It's just a range in which those notes only play once, right? Here, this is the only one.
Octave because it's 8.
8, exactly. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octave, hence the octo part, right? So it's 8 notes within one range, right? This is an octave, this is an octave, this is an octave, everything, right? So you already know. Separate single, da-da-da, extended, even longer, dual single, going up once, dual, even longer, mirrored single, only going once, even longer. And always come up and down, move around, right? And then, of course, you only have 3 worksheets. This, and then writing the letters, right? Learn it, right? When we start doing 4 chords, right? I have a joke on there. So, I was gonna mention it, but then I realized I didn't reply. So, actually, before we go, let's see if I can find my music. And I probably have to send it to you because my card is not working.
Okay.
Cover lens.
This first note be a G right here.
Sorry.
Is this a G?
Close. 8.
Oh, this one on the line?
That's 8. I'm gonna send you this. I want you to print this out. Okay? Do you have a print at home?
No, I go to like a nearby library, like public library.
Okay. Alright. I'm so sorry about my printer saying not working. This is only the first page. You really only have to focus on the first page. Let me write down what homework is. Right? Make sure you remember it's also that page that I need to have you print out. Thank you so much. This is your practice homework. Always gonna be there. Never forget it. Right? Homework. I'm gonna write addition, subtraction because that's what it says here. Addition number 1. Subtraction number 1. And then practical counting. Right? Practical counting. 2. Print. Okay. Send it to your text. These are the things I want back, right? And then this is what you always work on, right? And you have new stuff to work on here. So yeah, get there you go.
Thank you.
I hope you understood today's lesson. If there's anything you're confused with, just text me, you know, and I'll help you out with it. I will. Oh yeah, lettuce, tomato. Joke my father makes. Anyway.
Whether we like y'all finished.
Yes, it means let us go. Lettuce, tomato. Let's see. Oh yeah. Alright. Sorry about that.
For an hour and a half or 2 hours?
An hour. You know, I was prepared. So sorry about that. I didn't even realize that he sent it that long. Good Lord have mercy. It's okay. I'm just trying to get ready to take my grandma to Walmart. Thank you so much. Alrighty. I'm gonna take this one. Alright, don't forget your phone.
I don't know why I thought my phone was